Hi all, this is Surya from Department of Computer Science, Full Stack Web Development, working as an assistant professor in Dr.SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. And here we are going to see about the object-oriented programming using client-side essential, that is dynamic access. So dynamic access nothing but a manipulation of web pages using JavaScript jQuery. Small points can greatly enhance the user experience of web application. Here are some small points to keep in mind. Accessing HTML element. JavaScript jQuery can be used to access HTML element on a web page by using their IDs, classes or tags. Changing content. Once an element has been accessed, its content can be changed using the inner HTML property or the text method in jQuery. And the adding element. New HTML element can be added to a web page by using create element method in JavaScript, append and method in jQuery. Removing elements. If you want to remove element from this, we can remove by using a remove method, jQuery boot or get child nodes. To access and manipulate element on a web page using jQuery, you can use selector to identify and the elements you want to modify that. And once you have selected an element, you can use jQuery method to modify it and its properties such as text content, HTML, CSS styles and attributes. Here, jQuery is a JavaScript library that simplifies the process of accessing, manipulating the DOM. It provides the set of functions. What is DOM? Document Object Model. Methods that developers to perform common tasks such as selecting, modifying element on web page, handling events, making AJAX requests to retrieve data from the server. So how we want to handle, how we want to make AJAX request and retrieve data from the server. And to access and manipulate element on a web page using jQuery. So you can use a selector to identify the element you want to modify that. Once you have selected an element, you can use jQuery method to modify it. And the properties such are text content. It may be a text or HTML or CSS style or an attribute to select an element from jQuery method. And we can modify it. And these are the four things we have recalled that JavaScript is working under the DOM and it is a method of web page handling events and retrieve data from the server. And jQuery, that is selector, we can identify the elements to modify and we can also modify the methods, properties, text, content, HTML, CSS styles and attribute. And here by tag name, you can access the element by their tag name using the methods like element by tag name, example JavaScript variable division, and by class name, that is class name using the method get element by class name. And by CSS selector, you can use the query selector to select element CSS selector. Transposing the DOM, you can transpose the DOM document object to access element relative to the other element. And accessing form element, you can access the element using their name attribute, transposing username input, assuming it's in the first element in the name username. Accessing element by ID. Dynamic, you can element by ID using get element by ID. Knowing the ID in advanced. These are some common methods dynamically accessed the web page using JavaScript dynamic access, useful for building flexible and reusable code, changing the structure of HTML document. And here I have given the assessment regarding this topic and the two assessment that are, first thing you want to assess what we have done, what the topic is, and second we need to plan and we need to recall, and after that how we can expose that, and final assessment should be done. What are the accessing HTML element and define adding element and removing element. Reference, I have given a textbook reference here and you can refer the textbook for your higher things and your needs. Thank you all.